If you found this video, you probably are working on a Polaris. I specialize in the Polaris Genesis and Virage direct injection jet skis. I've mainly worked on 2001, 2002, 2003 models. And so I'm gonna make probably a 3 or 4 part video. This is part 1, where I bought a jet ski that was, the engine was seized, and all of the engine parts were piled in the village. When I got it home, I just had to take all the parts out, and the motor was completely stripped. And so you'll see me completely putting the engine back together. Not in detail, because there's a lot of videos out there on, putting the jugs on, putting pistons in, putting heads on. I'm not going to go through all that, but I am going to show you several things that deal specifically with the Polaris Ficht fuel injection, direct injection jet skis. That'll help you with the. I unseized it, and which I'm making this video after I have already done a lot of the work. But I'm going to deal with the oiler and the importance of leaving it on there, the EMM, engine management module, the injectors. That's probably going to be this video. And then the next one, probably part 2, I'm going to be dealing with the fuel regulator and how to secure it where it doesn't fall off in the gas tank. Probably, if your ski is not running right at all, it might crank, but it don't run good at all. Chances are your fuel pressure regulator has fell into the bottom of the gas tank, and it needs to be repaired properly. So I'll be going over that next video, and then diagnosing a no spark, doing a coil test, and those kind of things, and then explaining the start-stop module, and then definitely the TPS throttle position sensor. Going to be going in detail. That'll be later videos, but I'll have all those after this one. So enjoy. So when it was seized, it would move about that much, just barely move, and I just kept working it back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth till it made an entire revolution. So it wasn't really seized up. I got it to go all the way around. There was a little bit of surface rust on that bearing. I oiled it and worked it back and forth until it made a whole revolution, and now it's free. It took me 10 minutes, no, 3 minutes to get it unseized. Wasn't bad. It wasn't bad seized at all. So it's smooth now. So I'm going to clean it out, put the engine all back together, and it should run. Okay, so this is the engine out of the jet ski, and it has a lot of corrosion on it. And anytime you have electrical current and salt water, you're going to get this corrosion buildup under the paint. And so that is not salt, that is a corrosion buildup. So I'm going to scrape the whole thing down and put some rust preventer, corrosion preventer on it, and repaint it. So I am brushing all of this corrosion off, get most of that off, and then hitting it with, I'm using rust converter. You can use vinegar, oil, water mixed with baking soda, anything that will neutralize the corrosion. Anything like that will be good. But anyway, I'm squirting that rust converter. I got a little bit right here that I've squirted, So just to neutralize that, then clean it all back off, prime it, paint it. So I now have the engine back together on the 1200 Ficht Polaris Genesis 2003 model. I want to explain a little about the oiler. On a lot of two-stroke jet skis, you can put a delete kit, take the oiler off and put a delete kit on it so that you bypass or just completely do away with these lines, these 3 lines right here, and just run mixed gas in the gas tank, and you'll be fine. However, on any Polaris, and I think there's a few more jet skis out there that use the Ficht, and this is the EMM. That's the EMM, the engine management module that goes with these. That is the computer that talks to the display on the dash and tells the fuel injectors how much to fire and when the plugs to fire, and all that. That computer is the brains to these jet skis. So on other jet skis that are naturally aspirated, they have carburetors, you can delete this and it's fine. Just put premix in the gas tank. But on these, you cannot bypass these lines because fuel goes from the fuel tank directly into these hoses. One, let's see here, that one right there is incoming fuel, and that one is outgoing fuel back into the fuel tank from the fuel pump. So the fuel pumps fuel into this one, and it goes up to the fuel injectors. That computer tells the fuel injectors how much to inject. So think about this. You have, even if you've got mixed gas in the gas tank, that gas is going directly into the cylinder head. It is not going into the crankcase. So if you bypass these lines on a fuel injected Ficht, Polaris, and even other models that have this same design, if you bypass these oil lines, you are not getting any oil into the intake and then into the crankcase as it's running. You will starve the crankcase of any lubrication and it will seize. So just keep in mind, never, ever, ever bypass this oil injector, definitely on a Polaris fuel injected model. So wanted to give you that bit of information so that you won't make the mistake of taking this off and bypassing it. So I have purchased a couple of jet skis that they attempted to bypass it, but it didn't run long enough for it to hurt it, because the computer went out before it had time to do any of that, or the pressure regulator fell off in the gas tank and stopped the engine from running until someone was able to repair it. And a lot of times, if you don't run it long, you don't do any damage, but it doesn't take long to do damage. So these are the Ficht fuel injectors that go on this specific model is a 1200 Polaris Genesis 2003 model, and this is the Ficht engine management module. That's a computer that operates everything. These are tuned computer-wise. They are tuned to that management module, and they cannot be switched. So there's a computer program they use to set the coefficients to each one of these in the cylinder that it goes in, and you can't switch these up. So anybody taking these off, matter of fact, I wouldn't even take these off. They never go bad. There's never anything that goes wrong with these fuel injectors. If you've got a problem, it probably is not the fuel injector. It is probably the fuel pump, or the fuel pump regulator has fell off in the fuel tank. So I would advise not to take these off. If you do, if you're just itching to and you got to take them off for some reason that you've made up in your head that you want to take them off. If you do that, if you have to take the head off to do some work to the cylinder, whatever you've got to do, do not take the fuel lines off and or mark them 1, 2, and 3, or however you want to mark them. I would do that. Make sure you mark them very well. Put them back in the same place they were. This ski, someone did not do that. They took all these off, and I tried my best to figure out just by the wear. This one right here was not wore at any on this side. It was wore on this side. This one had the same amount of wear on both sides. And then this one right here was good on this side and it was wore on this side. So I kind of tried to figure out which cylinder they went on, and I think I got it right, but I don't know for sure. So if this jet ski does not run good, that might be a reason that it won't run good. So now these engine management modules for the Ficht are prone to, now that they're 20 years old, they are prone to fail, mainly because of overheating. It has a water line that goes through it, and lake water that is circulated through the engine goes through this computer and cools it. And if it gets stopped up and this thing overheats, it goes bad, and it's a $600 price tag to get that repaired. And I know Darren Weiss at Lakeside Tech repairs those, does a great job, and that's who I send all mine to. I don't know if there's anybody else that you can even send them to. But if you do get these mixed up, Darren Weiss is able to hook your computer up to a computer and reset those, and so he can take care of that if you need him to. But I have sent I think this, I'll be sending this one to him to get checked out. I don't know if it's bad or not, but I'm going to send it to him anyway to get it checked out. But I have sent, I think 4 maybe to him already, and they've all came back, worked fine. When I did send the other ones back, normally it's because the plugs are not firing. Everything else checked out good. All right, so I've got the throttle body all bolted to it. Fuel injectors are on. Oil pump, all that's hooked up. I got the starter on it, and it is ready to test to see if it'll turn over. I got somebody helping me here. There we go. There it goes. Should crank. That wraps this video up. Next video probably going to be installing the engine, hooking everything back up. So little advice just to end here, if you possibly can, unseize an engine with it still in the ski. I know this one right here was corroded. It needed painted. I couldn't get out of that. The engine was already in pieces when I got it. But just some advice. I have successfully unseized a lot of engines with them still in the ski. So if it's not the jet pump making it not turn, then try your best to put oil in the plugs, oil wherever you can, and try to work it back and forth, get it unseized that way. So hope you enjoyed this one. We'll see you on the next video.